Thank you for joining Wars of the Rosies, and this is Breastplate from the Encyclopedia of Freemasonry by Albert G. Mackey. Breastplate, called in Hebrew the following, meaning chosen, or meaning chosen mishpet, the breastplate of judgment, because through it the high priest received divine responses and uttered his decision on all matters relating to the good of the commonwealth. It was a piece of embroidered cloth of gold, purple, scarlet, and fine white twined linen. It was a span, or about 9 square inches when doubled, and made thus strong to hold the precious stones that were set in it. It had a gold ring at each corner, to the uppermost which were attached golden chains, by which it was fashioned to the shoulder pieces of the ephod, while from the 2 lowermost went 2 ribbons of blue, by which it was attached to the girdle of the ephod, and thus held secure in its place. In the breastplate were set 12 precious gems, on each of which was engraved the name of one of the 12 tribes. The stones were arranged in 4 rows, 3 stones in each row. As to the order of arrangement and the names of the stones, there has been difference among the authorities. The authorized version of the Bible gives us them in this order: sardius, topaz, carbuncle, emerald, sapphire, diamond, ligure, agate, amethyst, beryl, onyx, jasper. This is the pattern generally followed in the construction of Masonic breastplates, but modern researchers into the true meaning of the Hebrew names of these stones have shown its inaccuracy. Especially must the diamond be rejected, as no engraver could have cut a name on this impenetrable gem, to say nothing of the pecuniary value of a diamond of a size to match the rest of the stones. Josephus gives the stones in the following order: sardonyx, topaz, emerald, carbuncle, jasper, sapphire, ligure, amethyst, agate, chrysolite, onyx, beryl. Polish, in his commentary on Exodus, gives a different order: cornelian or sardonyus, topaz, smaragdus, carbuncle, sapphire, emerald, ligure, agate, amethyst, chrysolite, onyx, jasper. But perhaps the Vulgate translation is to be preferred as an authority, because it was made in the 5th century, at the time when the old Hebrew names of the precious stones were better understood than now. The order given in that version is shown in the following diagram. A description of each of these stones with its symbolic significance will be found under the appropriate head. On these stones were engraved the names of the 12 tribes, 1 on each stone. The order in which they were placed, according to the Jewish Targums, was as follows, having a reference to the respective ages of the 12 sons of Jacob. The differences made by different writers in the order of the names of the stones arise only from their respective translations of the Hebrew words. These original names, as detailed in Exodus 28, and admit of no doubt, whatever doubt there may be as to the gems which they were intended to represent, these Hebrew names are given on opposite page. The breastplate which was used in the first temple does not appear to have returned after the captivity, for it is not mentioned in the list of articles sent back by Cyrus. The stones, on account of their great beauty and value, were most probably removed from their original arrangement and reset in various ornaments by their captors. A new one was made for the services of the Second Temple, which, according to Josephus, when worn by the high priest, shot forth brilliant rays of fire that manifested the immediate presence of Jehovah. But he adds that 200 years before his time, this miraculous power had become extinct in consequence of the impiety of the nation. It was subsequently carried to Rome, together with the other spoils of the temple. Of the subsequent fate of these treasures, and among them the breastplate, there are 2 accounts: that they are conveyed to Carthage by Genseric after his sack of Rome, and that the ship containing them was lost on the voyage. The other, And as King thinks, the more probable one that they had been transferred long before that time to Byzantium and deposited by Justinian in the treasury of St. Sophia. The breastplate is worn in the American chapter of the Royal Arch by the high priest as an essential part of his official vestments. The symbolic reference of it, as given by Webb, is that it is to teach him always to bear in mind his responsibility to the laws and ordinances of the institution, and that the honor and the interest of his chapter should always be near his heart. This does not materially differ from the ancient symbolism, for one of the names given to the Jewish breastplate was the memorial, because it was designed to remind the high priest how dear the tribes whose names it bore should be to his heart. The breastplate does not appear to have been original with or peculiar to the Jewish ritual. The idea was, most probably, derived from the Egyptians. Diodorus Siculus says that among them the chief judge bore about his neck a chain of gold, from which hung a figure or image composed of precious stones, which was called truth, and the legal proceedings only commenced when the chief judge had assumed this image. Elian confirms this account by saying that the image was engraved on sapphire and hung about the neck of the chief judge with the golden chain. Peter Duval says that he saw a mummy at Cairo, round the neck of which was a chain, to which a gold plate was suspended, on which the image of a bird was engraved. See Urim and Thummim. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and comment. And if you can, please consider donating to Wars of the Rosies. Links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. Thank you so very much.